In a world chasing noise, they brought back grace. While the world wrapped itself in black leather and cold stares, 6 girls walked in with elegance and stole the spotlight.
MMA 2023 카카오뱅크 올해 앨범 IVE.
This is what happens when elegance meets power. This is IVE. When IVE debuted in December 2021, they didn't take the usual route. No survival shows, no long-term public build-up, just 6 girls launching with a track that looked and sounded like it came from a veteran group. Their debut single, 11, wasn't your average rookie release. The instrumental had unexpected transitions, the pre-chorus pause became instantly iconic, and the visual storytelling was sleek and mature. For a debut group, it felt too polished, almost like they'd skipped the rookie stage entirely. The song dominated music shows, securing 13 wins, and social media blew up with fan edits, dance covers, and performance breakdown. And most of all, they did this without any survival show hype or long pre-debut campaigns. The momentum came solely from the performance, visuals, and a sense of identity. Then came the hits, one after another. Love Dive marked a huge shift in IVE's career. It was the moment they became a serious contender in the industry. The dreamy synth backdrop, slow burn arrangement, and addictive pre-chorus created a song that didn't scream for attention, but demanded it anyway. The choreography, especially the mirror dance move, became instantly iconic and was replicated by fans and idols across social media. It won Song of the Year at multiple award shows, including MAMA, Melon Music Awards, and Golden Disc Awards, and became a defining anthem of 2022. Then came Afterlike. It was a bold contrast, infusing disco elements and sampling Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. The retro production and flashy visuals gave it a vibrant energy, while the choreography remained effortlessly cool. Each comeback brought more than just hype. The back-to-back Daesangs proved how firmly IVE had secured their spot at the top. With just 3 songs, 11, Love Dive, and Afterlike, IVE built a foundation stronger than what most groups achieve with full albums. This was IVE's Triple Crown era, and it announced them as serious players in the industry. What makes IVE different isn't just their visuals or success. It's how they've built a strong concept and image without relying on typical trends. Their name, I Have, sets the tone: confidence, self-assurance, and individuality. And they've delivered that message from the very beginning, starting with a confident debut and continuing through every impactful comeback. Then came Kitsch that flipped the script. It embraced controlled chaos, quirky styling, and an unpredictable arrangement. The song opened with spoken word, shifted into pop, and wrapped with a bold, chant-like chorus. Visually, it leaned into Gen Z humor, layered symbolism, and mismatched aesthetics, a sharp contrast to their earlier elegance. It showed that IVE wasn't afraid to challenge expectation. I Am was the centerpiece of their first full-length album. The track ditched the soft confidence for something more dramatic and cinematic. The lyrics spoke about finding one's own path, and the production built toward a massive chorus that showcased Liz's power. Her high notes became a viral moment, not just because of how technically good they were, but because they changed the way people saw her as a vocalist. Baddie took things even further. The concept went darker. Leather fits, smoky eyes, and a harder beat. The attitude was unapologetic. The lyrics spoke boldly about knowing their worth, and the stage presence matched it. From the slowed-down walk to the strong camera stares, it was clear that IVE could own an edgier image without it feeling forced. Their B-sides in this era expanded their sound. Blue Blood delivered elegance with a haunting edge. Hypnosis gave a dreamlike experience with layered production and floating vocals. Shine With Me pulled things back to focus on sincerity and vocals, a rare moment of quiet from a group known for polished confidence. Beyond those, tracks like Either Way and Off the Record, released in 2023, gave even more depth to their discography. Either Way leaned into introspection, showing IVE could do vulnerability too. Off the Record brought a soft, late-night vibe that stood out from their usual bold energy. These tracks showed they weren't afraid to step outside their signature style and explore something new. In 2024, IVE came back with HEYA, a track that infused traditional Korean elements into a modern pop production. The visuals leaned into hanbok-inspired fashion and bold symbolism, while the choreography blended elegance with power. It stood out from typical K-pop releases and sparked conversation for its bold direction. Then came Excendio. It had a mystical, cinematic vibe with darker tones and a theatrical performance style. The song's layered instrumentation and dramatic visuals gave it a fantasy feel, showing another side of IVE's versatility. Their digital single All Night followed with a smoother, more laid-back sound. It showed IVE could switch gears and still feel polished. The vocals were clear and easy, and it quickly became a fan favorite for its relaxed vibe and catchy hook. And in 2025, they returned with their most confident era yet. Rebel Hearts was an anthem of self-love and independence. The visuals were strong, empowering, and mature, marking a new chapter for the group. Attitude followed with a darker, more experimental sound, proving that IVE continues to evolve with every release. Both songs performed well on charts and were praised for their sonic direction and performance quality. Fashion and styling have become a huge part of IVE's brand. At a time when the girl crush concept dominated K-pop with sharp looks and edgy visuals, IVE stood out by bringing back elegance, poise, and femininity. They redefined what powerful could look like. Whether it's stage outfits, airport looks, or behind-the-scenes content, IVE continues to influence how idols and fans approach fashion. The bigger you get, the louder the criticism. IVE's rapid rise drew eyes, and not all of them were kind. Their encore stages became a hot topic. The vocals were shaky at first, and people quickly questioned whether they had the skills to match their success. Social media picked apart every performance. Wonyoung especially became a lightning rod. Her expressions, posture, and even how she smiled during encores were all scrutinized. It wasn't just criticism, it bordered on nitpicking. Then there was Liz. During the Afterlike and I Am era, comments about her weight flooded forums. She was body-shamed brutally, labeled too big to be an idol. It overshadowed her vocal talent for a time, with people focusing more on appearances than what she brought to the group. Instead of reacting, they focused on what mattered, getting better. Liz became a trending topic during the HEYA era. Her transformation caught attention. Fans and media alike praised her stunning visuals and renewed confidence. It wasn't just about how she looked, but how she carried herself on stage with poise and power. Lizzo, who once blended quietly into group formations as the youngest, now commands stages with confidence. Her camera presence improved drastically, and her lines are no longer just filler. Even the encore stages, once used to criticize them, became proof of progress. They weren't just standing and smiling anymore. They sang with stability, looked more comfortable, and earned praise from the same netizens who once doubted them. IVE's redemption didn't come through clapbacks or social media posts. It came through consistency, hard work, and turning pressure into performance. Going global wasn't a surprise for IVE, it was always part of the plan. With their Japanese debut Wave, they entered the market with a polished rollout, and the reception proved their appeal wasn't limited to Korea. But the real highlight came when they performed at the Tokyo Dome, a feat that only a few girl groups in history have achieved. For IVE to do it within 2 years of debut showed just how massive their reach had become. Their visuals too began dominating international fashion feeds. Wonyoung became a front-row staple at Miu Miu events and the global face of Innisfree. Yujin caught the attention of beauty and fashion magazines through bold styling and standout visuals. Liz's solo covers in top magazines highlighted her rising influence. As a group, they also fronted major campaigns, from Pepsi to Papa John's, proving their commercial power. Their influence stretched far past the stage, leaving a mark on fashion, beauty, and brand culture. Whether through performances, visuals, or music, IVE's global appeal is built on consistency. They weren't chasing attention, they were building a presence that fans around the world could connect to, and it worked. IVE's trophy shelf tells one story, but their legacy goes beyond it. They've earned Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best Performance at some of the biggest award shows in Korea. Few groups rack up that kind of acclaim so early, and they did it with a discography that continues to grow in style and impact. In just a few years, they went from being the rookie group to the standard others are now compared to. Without a survival show, without viral gimmicks, without leaning on a senior group's fan base, they arrived with a clear vision and kept leveling up. IVE's legacy is still unfolding, but what they've done already, that's rare. IVE dared to be bold. Will you?